The question is that the bill be agreed to in principle. Ms Cheyne.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to also speak briefly today in support of the Revenue Legislation Amendment Bill 2016 No. 2, a mark of progress in simplifying and streamlining property transactions. The purchase of a property is something many Canberrans aspire to do. However, few of us are well acquainted with the formal conveyancing process, and the transaction to acquire our dream home can become stressful and confusing. Madam Speaker, it was not so long ago that I was navigating these many steps myself as a first home buyer in the Belconnen Town Centre. Even with the assistance of a legal professional to purchase a property, buyers still have a heavy load of paperwork to complete and payments to wrap their heads around before settlement, such as insurance applications, loan documents and payment of their deposit and conveyance duty. It's a complicated process. This bill contains a number of measures to simplify this process. The payment of conveyance duty and lodgement of title documents will be consolidated, exemption categories will be streamlined and nominal fees will be done away with. Under the current model of conveyancing, the many steps that must be completed to purchase a property are heavily concentrated in the period between the exchange of contracts and settlement date. Madam Speaker, the need to stick to strict timeframes can make the whole process seem pressured and stressful. One of the steps that currently needs to be completed before settlement is the payment of conveyance duty. To pay their conveyance duty, a buyer must lodge their duty documents with the ACT Revenue Office, claim any relevant concessions or exemptions, make payment and have the contract of sale stamped as proof of payment. All of this must occur before settlement. These documents are then lodged again after settlement with Access Canberra to effect a transfer of title. The Revenue Legislation Amendment Bill introduces a new system, the barrier-free model. Under the barrier-free model, the buyer doesn't have to worry about paying conveyance duty until after settlement has been completed and the buyer has acquired title to the property. After settlement, the buyer will lodge their conveyance documents just once with Access Canberra and then will have 14 days to pay their duty. The barrier-free model removes unnecessary pressure on buyers by lightening the workload and financial pressures in the period between the exchange of contracts and settlement. Conveyance documents will now only have to be lodged once, and buyers will not have to pay conveyance duty until after they have acquired title in their new property. Madam Speaker, or Madam Assistant Speaker, this new model will particularly benefit people who are buying a property off the plan because they can pay their deposit and then save up for their conveyance duty while their new home is being built. This will help all home buyers, and especially first homeowners and young families in the Ginninderra community, as it will ease the burden of saving up for a deposit in a growing property market. In particular, somewhere like Belconnen Town Centre has a number of large proposed developments where I expect people will be able to buy off the plan, and so the potential impact and reach of these beneficial changes is great. The bill also consolidates the exemption categories, so it will be easier for buyers to determine whether they are eligible for an exemption. This will create further transparency in a complicated transaction. Finally, the bill contains a number of other amendments to remove red tape and abolish nominal fees. The bill will remove all fees of $20 and $200. The government recognises that these fees, which were originally introduced as a partial cost recovery measure, are no longer justified. Processing property conveyances is largely done on a digital platform, meaning that the processing of transactions is less intensive and payments are handled electronically. The expenses involved in debt recovery also mean that retrieving small fees is not economical. Removing these nominal fees is a common-sense approach from government. The Revenue Legislation Amendment Bill 2016 will provide home buyers with a welcome simplification of the conveyance process. By introducing the barrier-free model, consolidating exemption categories and doing away with nominal fees, the bill will remove unnecessary pressure and uncertainty during the conveyance process. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Assistant Speaker.